everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. And of course, this is a new year 2022. I hope you've all enjoyed your holiday break and been able to spend some time with your families, etc., because that's important for us. So for today we have a little bit of a review of what we've been able to achieve since last year, the last 12 months. And of course, we started off the year with our project Audi TT. So we had a Mark III TT 8S Black TT, and that was an interesting buy. The car cost me around £8,700 to purchase, and to get the car and finished, total cost was around about 11.5k. Now, was that a good buy? Probably not, because it was a 1.8. It wasn't really the model that I wanted. I really wanted a 2 litre because there was a lot more potential to go with that car. But it was a Mark III, and I've always wanted a Mark III, and it did handle on rails, and we did have plans for that, but that kind of switched after a while, because if you know me, I tend to get bored of my cars really quickly. So we then had, once that project was completed, we then moved on to our next project, which was a Mark I TT convertible. Now, getting the Mark I just completed everything on my journey with Audi TTs. And Mark I basically meant that I owned every Mark I TT that was available. So that is the VR6, which I started my channel on. I had about 3 or 4 225s with Baron engines and a 1.8 225 brake horsepower. I had about 3 of those, and of course now we've got the 225 convertible. Now, that was more of a semi-restore project, but kind of went south halfway through because we got distracted with our next project, which was the Golf GTE. Now, the Golf GTE was a little bit of a surprise because I wasn't really looking for a new project. It just kind of came up, and it was a car that I always fancy having as a daily. Of course, we've got the S3, which my wife tends to use most of the time, and that car potentially will be getting sold this year so that we can fund our next big project, but more of that later. So in order for me to get the GTE meant that I needed to sell the Audi TT, the HS. So we did sell that car. It didn't go for what I wanted, but it went for a reasonable amount of money, and that of course helped me to fund the new TT, or the new GTE. Now the GTE is a brilliant car, and we had our problems with that with some of our videos that you could probably remember. In fact, look at this one now, where we had the issue with Bill and Ben and their fabulous paint job. So but the GTE was the last project before the van that we've just done, and that car, all in with everything done, cost me 11.5k completed. I thought I'd talk the numbers through, because we haven't really spoken about the numbers on this car. In fact, none of the cars that we've done this year. So again, that was about 11.5k. Cost me something like 9, I think 9.7 I seem to remember, but 11.5 is what it cost to get it back on the road. Was it a good deal? I think so, because that 11.5 included the wheels that we got, the new wheels. So it wasn't only just getting the car back on the road, it was also modding it in the way that we did and doing the remap. So I think that we got a good price, because even now, looking at those cars for those kind of mileage, you're looking at around 18k. So some strong figures there, and that leads me on to this year and what we're going to do. So first of all, let's just set the groundwork, and let's talk about why this channel exists. So in the past, we used to do a lot of salvage cars. This is not a salvage channel. This channel is all about cars. It's for want of a better term, a vlogazine. That you probably heard me use that expression before. So we do car reviews, we do projects, and we do review on projects, or car review on products, review on products that are sent to us. All the products that I always review on this channel are to do with cars, and I think that's important if it's going to be a car-based or vlogazine. So what does that mean for 2022? Does it mean that we are not going to be focusing on salvage? Well, we've got a couple of projects that I plan to do. They probably will be salvage cars, and the only reason why is because getting salvage cars gives me the maximum amount of exposure to getting that car repaired and getting to know that car. There's nothing more than repairing a car, and that's the reason why I do it, because I really enjoy it. It's a hobby for me. It's not a job. I trained as a mechanic many years ago, but now I do it as more of a pastime. It's a hobby for me, and that's the reason why I like getting salvage cars, because just getting a car that needs mechanical work doing to it, although fun, is not as fun for me as it is to get a car that needs body work, that needs, you know, parts repaired, etc. Because these are the parts, normally the parts that get damaged are parts that are consumables, etc. So knowing that those bits are new is a great thing for me. So we will still be doing that, but I just thought I'd make it clear that my channel, although it did go that way for a little bit, where we were looking more like a salvage repair, that's not what we do. We are a vlogazine. And with that in mind, some of the things I want to be focusing on in 2022 is more on the car review scene. But I want to do reviews that are different to the standard reviews that you see on YouTube. A little bit more technical, a little bit more involved in terms of understanding some of the features of vehicles. And I've been talking to a number of car manufacturers trying to get in on the media press car scene, which is a really difficult scene to get into. Trust me, it is hard, because I've spent the best part of 6 months trying to do that. But fortunately, I've been able to talk to the guys at Mini, who recommended me to join the SMMT, which is a industry body. If you don't know who they are, they basically represent the car manufacturing industry, and by getting involved with them, that will hopefully open some doors for me to be able to get in with some manufacturers, because they have track days that they invite individuals, and I've now been accepted as a member for the SMMT, which is a major coup for me. So you can kind of see where we're going to be going. Like I said, we're not going to neglect the salvage car, doing project cars. That's what we're going to call them, project cars, because I think that's the heart and soul of my channel. It's the foundation stone, and a lot of you tune in for that. So we're still going to be doing that, but we're going to be mixing it up a little bit with some reviews, car reviews, etc. My honest opinion on that, and with a little bit of a comedic element, which you probably don't see on a lot of channels. Plus, we've got some other stuff that we're going to be doing as well. And one of the things that I want to get sorted this year is the garage. Now, you may have noticed that the last couple of projects, including the GTE, I haven't been working in a garage. There is a reason for that. Let me show you. Welcome to the Cars for Paul garage. You've been in here before, and this is a familiar environment, but we haven't been in here for some time, and here's the reason why. This guy here, the elephant in the room. This TT has spent more time in this garage than it has been on the road, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. The car starts and drives. Well, there is one thing, and we're going to come on to that in the next few videos. This has got a bit of a battery there, parasitic drain, and we're going to go through diagnosing that in the next few videos, hence the reason why I have to have the battery charger on here. But that's not the main reason why this car has been in here. It's been in here because of the fact that I've had other projects on the go, and this car has been neglected. And that kind of leads me very nicely onto the fact that it's been neglected. I mean, it's all together, it just needs a bit of TLC to finish off. I've just not been motivated to do so. So that means the car needs to go. So I'm going to be selling this car. It will go, and I'm just holding on to it because the best time to sell a convertible is obviously near the time when when it's winter. Winter? What am I talking about? When it's summer. So there's a couple of things I need to sort out on it. The dash pod, going to get that sorted. We're going to add a new center console in there with a Apple Play and Android Auto headset in there. I know the purists of you are going to say, oh, you got to keep the original radio, but the original radio doesn't work. It's dead. And I could get another one, but let's bring it into the 21st century. That's what most people want. Other than that, it's a really fine car. But this, although it is the elephant in the room, it is not the reason why we're in here. The reason why we're in here is because the garage is going to go through a major refit. It's been a couple of years since we've done anything to the garage, and as a working garage, it's just not fit for purpose. Let me explain. So here, as you can see, we used to have all the shelving unit. We moved that to the back there, and this garage being 28 feet long means that it's a lot of space, but it's a lot of wasted space. My biggest issue is this bit of the wall here. This is great. This gives me about 3.5 meters either side to work with, but then it stops here. And if you look at the length of this car and you look at the front here, we've got a lot of space here, and here is where I tend to do most of my work, and I've got my tools on the side here. But jacking cars up in this environment is not conducive to a working environment. Let me explain. So here we've got a lot of space. Here it's pretty tight. So ideally you want the car more in the center here, but this wall here prevents that from happening, because although the garage is fairly big, it's only got a limited working space of about 4.5 meters. So here's the plan. What we're going to do, we're going to take this wall down here on all this wall here with this window, all of this area here is going to go, and we're going to basically run the garage the whole length till about here, the edge of this window here. Then we're going to have a wall going across here. So essentially that part of the garage, which I never use, my son uses it more as a workshop, and it's a dumping ground, as you can see, that's going to become a workshop. And then we're going to have a wall across here, and all those tools that you're seeing on that side there will be here with proper workbench. So this is going to go all this area here because it's just a dumping ground. We're going to have a steel worktop. Let's get some lights on the matter. I've got censored lights here. And we'll have a wall going across here, and then all the tools and the working area will be just so much more, well, it'll be bigger. That then will mean that I could get a 2-post lift in here. Now, we don't have a lot of ceiling space, so we'll be looking at a short lift, but I'm in two minds whether to get a quick jack system, which will lift the car up about 21 inches, or whether to get a short 2-post lift, which will lift the car. Obviously the car will not be able to go up high, but it will give me about 1.2 meters of space underneath the car to work with. But the best thing is that where the jack will be situated, because the tools will be at the front there, it means I could do what I need to do and still service the cars, and that's the important aspect, making the garage more workable. So that's the plan, to sort this out. I'm obviously doing some stuff in the garden as well, hence the reason why this plan has come to fruition. So in order for all of that to happen, this car must go first. So this is what we're going to be working on next, getting it ready to be sold, or at least to be able to be parked outside, so we can start on this project here. So big things for 2022, and at least this will be better equipped. So I'm thinking of potentially getting rid of that, or maybe even mounting it on the wall. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. It is very practical and it does work. It's just whether or not it will work high up, because that's the idea, get it high up, and then we have a steel workbench. These toolboxes we'll probably still keep because they're pretty good, both of those, but what they will do, they'll go underneath a cabinet in the end there, so that they are still rollable, that you'll be able to move around, but they can stay under the cabinet. This I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with, but I think it will be a lot workable, a lot better in terms of the environment, and that's the plan for the garage. But as you can see, we've got a lot of space here, and I call this a TARDIS because from the outside, as you saw when we lifted the door up, it looks like a small little standard garage. But inside, as you can see, it is massive, it's huge. So we just need to get it more practical. And again, all of this stuff here in the corner, which is just junk, all of that will go and it will just be workable, and we'll seal the ceilings up as well so that it's, you know, and get some proper decent lighting and all the rest of it. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and your suggestions as well. That would be good to hear. So that's the plans for the garage, and what we have coming up in season 3 or 4, season 4 of Cars for Paul. So normally I don't really discuss the cars that I'm going to bring on. I have an idea and I normally plan it throughout the year. So normally this time of the year I'm looking at cars that I'm going to bring onto the channel, but I never reveal that because I change my mind so much, it's unreal. However, this year I have fixed in my mind exactly what we're going to be doing in terms of the projects that I'm going to be bringing onto the channel. Number one, when the TT goes, the car that will be replacing the TT, drum roll. Do we have a drum roll? If you can hear a drum roll, it's because I decided to put a drum roll in. So the car that's going to replace the TT is a Porsche Cayman. Yeah, I know, Porsche Cayman. That is not an R8, but the realistic is I need to do some work on my house, so I'm not going to be spending money on buying that when I need to get that sorted. So that's my first priority. But I've always liked the Cayman because of the fact that it's a mid-engine car, has decent enough performance. It is essentially a Boxer with a roof on it. That's what it is. Hence the reason why a lot of the Boxer parts actually fit on there. But I really like it as a car and the way that it, you know, it just, the stance. So we're going to get a Cayman and we're going to convert it into a GT4. Now, some of the purist Porsche people I know out there will be absolutely dying to death to hear that, and they will tell you that you cannot make a GT4, you need to buy one. But I don't care, I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy a body kit and we're going to do that and make it look good, because that's what I'm going to do. It's my money and that's exactly what we're going to achieve. And we're going to lower the car as well, bigger wheels, to give it the stance that I think the Cayman should have had from the factory. And the second car we're going to be doing is we're going to be selling Eleanor. That's my S3. If you don't know who Eleanor is, a car that I am very passionate about. I love that car, but we've reached that point in time where it's time for her to go. In her place, I'm going to look at getting an RS3. So that's the plan, to get those two cars as project cars for this year. Now, there will be other cars that will come onto the channel as well, because I've always got friends who want stuff done, so we'll probably get that happening. So what they are, I can't tell you at this stage, but what I can tell you is the cars that I'm planning to bring on board this year will be a Cayman and a Porsche Cayman and an RS3. That's the plan, and all things going well, we'll have those as two project cars throughout the year. The rest will be determined by what happens. So I'll be very interested to know your thoughts on the plans for 2022, and included the garage as well. Any suggestions that you think that would help, then put them in the comments below, because that's what they're for, and I will review them, and we may even talk about them in the next upcoming video. Good stuff. Okay, I think I've spoken enough now. So for those of you who just see my channel for the first time, click on that subscribe button, click on that bell notification button so you are notified whenever we release a new video. And for the rest of you guys, thank you for following along with this channel and putting up with me and my quirkiness, and we will see you on the next one.